Hello and welcome to the next episode of our Resistance playthrough. And we have begun building the first ships with proper weapons, which are the particle boats here and the railgun boats, which are all equipped with the helican drive, which can get us to Jupiter if we want to. And I'm contemplating that to whether we want to fly there soonish or not. The Jupiter is here. Jupiter has a fleet there. It's the battleship which destroyed us. I think it's still that one. And then they have made a few stations here. The problem of those is that they do now have battle stations on these ones, so we cannot take them out easily anymore. But fine. We have to see long term how that plays out. And for that, we are going to go into the coil guns, which are pretty solid for taking out space stations. But now, after coil guns is unlocked, we have to go into fusion because we want to get away from the helican drive. And now let's check this one out in detail. So we get into the nuclear fusion methodologies, which is the gateway to fusion in general. And then we already have to make a decision. In which kind of direction do we want to go? Because we can go into the Z-pinch techniques, or we can go into the tokamaks, or we can go into something else. And the big question is, okay, what kind of cheap drive can we go for so that we can make drives relatively soonish? We definitely need to go into the magnetic nozzles though. So we have to research to this tech. I talked about that at the end of last episode, that we are opening high temperature superconductors for this, which is relatively expensive with 40k, and then this leads into the magnetic plasma confinement, which is 35, and then 35,000, and then this one leads into the magnetic nozzles, which is 50k. So more or less it's anyway a lot of research. And yeah, so how do we go from there? Because even if we were to go into the, for example, the tokamaks here, and would unlock this and go to for the Triton Terrace drive here, you can see that the magnetic nozzle always shows up. Magnetic nozzle is the gateway to the drives, while the other ones will unlock the fusion reactors already a bit sooner. But you can't make a drive with them if you don't know how to make a drive. And for that you need the magnetic nozzles. And then we have to see, so there's a lot of projects behind this. Of course, there's, for example, the high-tech drives, which are late game, like the Protium Nova Torch here, which is one of the last ones here. Of course, that's not an option here right now. But we can investigate things like the... no, this one. This one is extremely high KPS, so a lot of fuel efficiency. But it's terrible thrust. Poseidon Torch is also very late game here. So Poseidon Lantern. Also these ones would be based on fissiles, which we don't have. So not an option. I'm not sure where and into which direction we want to go. So for example, there would be the Triton drive here, which is a bit better than the helican. I think like double efficient as the helican, which would be an early drive we could go for. So after magnetic nozzles, we would go into a mirror cell here. That would be something. And let's see the other ones here, because I don't know many of those either. Yeah, they are all very efficient in KPS though. But I don't know where to go. We need something which has at least like, what, 200,000 Newton thrust. I think that's something we should aim for Helion Taurus is already quite powerful. That would be behind Tokamak 3 though. Which would lead to deuterium-helium fusion already. So that's not an option either. What is with these torches here? Yeah, I don't know. I didn't pick one yet. I have to decide. I will read in between what to go for. Maybe the deuteron only requires inertial confinement fusion reactor 2. Should only require deuterium. Ah, that's still deep. Yeah, it's still very deep in the fusion tree. Okay, I have to check this out to see what we want to aim for here. Because I have to decide on one fusion drive that I want to go for quickly. And I have to find out which one is worth the cost and the investment. Because we might go away from the main path, which is the inertia fusion reaction, which leads to the best drives like the protium and the protium converter. But there will be a lot of drives precursor to this, and I have to really see which maybe are an option. Maybe like the Helion reflex drive here, as we already saw. I think that was the one we already checked out. Something maybe like this has to be the one we go for. Oh, what's this one? Deuterium Polyrail drive. I don't know this one. Hybrid confinement fusion. Yeah, this is cheaper. Hybrid confinement still requires deuterium though. So not that great. Not that great. So Triton reflex maybe. Triton fusor. Yeah, Triton reflex would at least be a decent upgrade towards compared to our Helicon. So maybe we have to go for this one, which would only be deuterium tritium fusion. Magnetic plasma confinement we need anyway to get to the magnetic nozzles, so that might be an option. Electronics we have to do anyway. Yeah, might be an option. Electronics will probably be the tech that we pick after nuclear fusion mythologies here. So much stuff to do. And I think we still need the diamondoids research as well. So there's still a lot of stuff to do. And on Earth, we are of course rushing into the Greater America now to optimize our research output here. And oh yeah, there's also the South American project, which we are aiming for as well. And I'm going to unify step by step here our countries to push up our science output as much as possible. And meanwhile, more and more ships are coming out, which are causing a money problem for us, which I have to consider how to fix. But I'm not determined yet on a solution there. I'm already pushing and funding quite heavily here in Canada, which is 50% of the investment, so it's going up constantly, but that's not going to be changing all too much long term here. So we have to consider something else, and I sadly didn't get the project I want yet either. Okay, so we are federating with Mexico here already. There we go. Perfect. And this way we are prepared for the second America project. Ooh, nice. Do we get... Oh, it's only 25% boost, but still. Yeah, the money problem is something I have to really consider now. And I might have to drop down some more bases somewhere to just get more money. And a solution could, for example, be that we just put another station into Earth orbit here. So, for example, the ISS orbit here. And then we could put something like an admin node in there to boost our money income when it's done. And then we put in there the nanofactories. Like this. Definitely a layered defense area, at least one, so that we are protected against the worst. In case we do not see a fleet from a human faction that maybe wants to visit us, and just in case that we don't get taken out here. A farm, of course. And this way we would at least get a bit more money. We also want the nanofactory, of course. And now we see that we can't really squeeze in more than 3 nanofactories in the whole station, which is a problem. So maybe we are scrapping the administration node after all, but then we would... this is also not adding up. Or we scrap the operation center for once. Just to be able to squeeze in more nanofactories, because that would allow us to have 2 more nanofactories here. Let's do this. So we are going to override this one. There we go. Yeah, let's do it like this. Then we have 5 nanofactories, which would be an income of 450. That would at least solve the balance issue here in 2/3 of a year. And we do know that the nanofactories here will come in next month, which will also help us solve the money problem. But we are going to need a lot more money anyway. We can, of course, later start selling stuff like fissiles here. So just selling 400 fissiles would get us 4,000 money already. That's not all too shabby. And there are technologies that we can do, which are going to get us more money from selling. I'm not sure if we already did all the ones we can. I'm not sure. Maybe there are still some not unlocked yet. We should do project review, by the way, to re-trigger some of the projects that we missed.
Standing by.
Okay, so we have the Federation here. And I think that's all we can do. We still have to take over Peru. Bolivia has to be allied to some people, like Brazil, exactly. Also here can't hurt. And here, Colombia. We are going to annex Colombia because we can use the armies that we have here to then annex stuff in the South American Union when it is time. And do we have to take over these points though? Probably, because they're allied to Ecuador and Peru, which is a problem. What I also want to take over is a Denmark here. The reasons for this are relatively simple. I want Greenland.
Dominating the opposition.
Sounds familiar, I guess, but yeah.
We're taking power.
So we are taking Denmark, and then we can ally that to the US, and then we can cede the territory when the project is done. Or rather, when we have consolidated control after half a year here in Denmark. And yeah, now let's get going towards the wormhole tech here. So let's push that out, and then we can talk about it. And let's go. And Guyana is almost annexed, and then we go for Suriname here to also expand our Brazilian holdings here. There we go. One less to worry about. And everything else is proceeding. We have to fix the unrest here though. Okay, there we go. The phenomena known as wormholes entail 2 points in space-time connected by an instantaneous quantum tunnel, most likely propped open by matter with negative mass. Though theorized about as early as 1960, they have never been proven to exist until now. Our deep space scans indicate a localized gravitational anomaly beyond the orbit of Neptune, where there very much should not be one. Specifically, we are registering gravity flowing inwards from a point orbiting an otherwise nondescript celestial body in the Kuiper belt. Our readings appear consistent with that of a stable Alice drain hole. In other words, we believe we are looking at the first recorded instance of a traversable wormhole.
Commander, we now know how they've come to our solar system.
Okay, we are getting closer to our final goals here. Our astrophysicists have taken advantage of our deep sky watch observatories, as well as some of the new technology available to us to study the primary alien base in the Cooper Belt. The conclusions are unanimous. The Hydra base houses one end of a stable traversable wormhole. According to our researchers and the data our spacecraft have gathered over the course of this conflict, the alien wormhole can be best modeled as an Alice drain hole. A previously theoretical mathematical construct consisting of a spatial discontinuity in which matter on one side of the wormhole drains into its destination. If our models are correct, this means that transporting mass to our solar system requires significantly less energy than sending anything back the other way. Our researchers theorize that the Hydra somehow moved the mouth of the wormhole from its origin in another solar system to here, perhaps by means of a probe or some other ship specialized for interstellar travel. How the Hydra were able to create or move this wormhole is entirely unknown. We believe that Hydra exotics were involved somehow. Skywatch observatories have confirmed a significant quantity of exotics near the wormhole's location, but several of our astrophysicists have admitted that truly understanding the wormhole's creation would require a grasp of physics so far beyond our own that it would amount to a new sub-branch of science. In any case, we don't need to know how to make one, we only need to know how to stop it. We are not picking up any similar readings anywhere else. So far now, we are operating on the assumption that this is the only wormhole in our solar system. If the aliens lose it, the war effort will be crippled. So now we are going to research the choke point when it is available. And now I'm going to go into the South American Union as well here, push this out, and therefore get us on track on some unifications here, which we desperately need, or some annexations, depending how you want to look at things here. And with that, I'm going to jump forward a bit, because now we have to wait for some stuff to finish, and then I'm going to start working on these federations. Okay, while our expansion here in the Americas is ongoing, I have researched the coil guns here as a project after the coil gun global research was done. And before we go into the ship design again, I just want to highlight the status quo. We do have Canada in a federation with the US. We also have Mexico in a federation with the US. We do have the Central American Confederation in a federation with the US, and we do have the Caribbean community in a federation with the US here, this way. Now, we also have Brazil and Bolivia in a federation with America, but this is just that the more powerful nation takes over here. I intentionally, what I wanted was to federate these two, but because there is an overlapping claim between Brazil and the US, I was also able to unify these, to federate these two. But of course I will not be able to unify anything into North America. Instead, we are building the South American one here. And I'm currently trying to get rid of the war with India here, so I'm taking out the armies that are trying to invade Brazil here. And then I'm trying to make peace again with I intervened as the US here now. And when this is done, I'm going to start annexing everything into Bolivia here. I'm still waiting for the Greater American Project to unlock, which will allow me to absorb all of these into the US in one big swoop. But it's fine that it didn't unlock yet, because we can still do things like knowledge investment here, mission control here in the center, and also a bit of boost and funding here in the Caribbean community, same as in Canada. And meanwhile, the Brazil is building up the mission control it can make. And we can also get out of boost here again, so we can reduce all of this a bit to focus more into mission control before we absorb it into Bolivia here. And now let's dive into the coil guns. We have our railboat here, and the railboat will now be the coil boat, so afterwards, because we are going to upgrade to the beta version here. So we can get rid of the light railgun here, all of these railgun class weapons, and now there are the coil gun weapons. So we are going to just add this one here and this one here. Everything else will stay the same for now. And let's call it version 1 as well. There we go. Save it. Let's compare it. The railboat here is... the coal boat is 17 tons heavier, but it has a higher combat rating. All that is well and okay though. And now we're going to refit the existing ones. So like this one, and then these ones here all will go into the new versions here. There we go. So we have the better ones soon, and then I'm going to make a few more of those. So I can also build a few of the... where are you? Coal boats. Ah, coal boat here. I was blind. So we are queuing up some of them as well here. So that we have a bit more. And then we can still consider if we send out this fleet to Jupiter anytime soon. Depending how the battles here on Earth will go, the big ship, of course, is only arriving in 250 days. So that's still far, far away. And there's another one battleship in 300 days. We do need the fleet for this, probably. But the question is how many new ships can we construct in that time frame. And with that, I'm going to... No, wait a second. I'm going to... Let's see what happens with the project review here.
Offering counsel.
Which I'm pushing through. Project review will unlock projects that have previously failed to trigger. So let's see if we get anything. And also nuclear fusion is done. So we have to go into neuronics. I already talked about that. To get into the... to prepare for deuterium, tritium fusion. But we don't need that right now. It's not necessary. We can first do ultracapacitors. Right, we need ultracapacitors anyway. Because also this will give us advanced coils. Okay, let's do this first. I made a mistake there. I thought we have that. Oh, we have 3 material projects ongoing currently. That's a lot, but... Diamondoid is almost finished now. We can push that forward a bit as well. So let's wait for the... Ah, there's quantum batteries. Good. That one is out of the way as well. Get me a better targeting computer. And now let's keep going. Ah, there we got it. And it immediately unlocked from project review. That's of course perfect. So I assume the favoritism didn't apply yet. Normally doesn't work like that. Hey, where's the project? This one is also something we want. Ah, here we go. I was blind. So we're going to do strategic lobbying here, and I hope that I also get the other one, but apparently it didn't. Yeah, this one is going to be a counselor from them. Yeah, rapid landing, Nashville. Ooh, where's Nashville? Is that in the US?
Things are stabilizing.
That's going to be a dead alien. I'm going to hunt this one down and make short work of it. Okay, what else do we want now? I did a lot of economy modifier projects to get our investments better. Yeah, I think I also want some of the boost projects now, because we are doing a bit of boost to counteract the mining orcs, because all of those... Let's see if there's one available right now. No, there isn't. But like these ones here, -2, -5. So all of these mining orcs cost boost permanently. So we have to go into some boost investments again to counteract this. That's why I'm considering to pick up some of those boost modifiers here. And now let's Also push this one, get some infrastructure and ship modules out of the way so that our ships that we can make will be on the highest tech available here. And also I'm going to just continue the expansion in South America here. Okay, we have reached 18th of December and a lot of things have happened in between. First of all, I finished the America project, which we are going to see in a second. And also the Soaring Demon battleship has arrived here and we have to take it out. So I'm going to take my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That feels well. So we should be we shouldn't be higher than 160, else they will not like it fighting us. So we're not going to use the particle boats here. Instead, I'm going to just bring along a few more tin cans here and then the point defenses. Something like this. Why do you guys have 0 because these are the point defenses, yes. So let's like this and see 128, that sounds well. So let's see if we can fight it. If it wants us, that would be ideal. It doesn't fly away or something. Debris duty, yeah, let's do this. And let's see. Engage. Yes, it wants to fight. This shouldn't be a challenge here. So we go high wall to cluster our ships a bit more together. The reason for this is that we are bringing... Yeah. It's just massive amount of torpedoes here, which are flying towards this ship. It will shoot some mech shots here against the torpedoes and against us. You can see that it has a lot of lasers as well, but this is dead. And the mech shots, which are dangerous if there are any, will get shot down by the point defense that we brought along. But apparently there are none. So, easy. That was the battleship. Or battle cruiser. Something like that. Pretty easy run at least. There we go, but we do not really get exotics here, sadly. And now we can... That was the other fleet. You go home to the shipyard. As you can see, nobody else is in Earth orbit. I kicked everybody out just to have a peace of mind here. And now we go to the US, where the Greater America project has finished. We do see now we do have a lot of claims. And I'm going to start with the unification of Canada and Mexico. What? Someone's stealing from me. Meanwhile, I'm already expanding here in the south. So that's also ongoing. Yeah, now the aliens do not like this again, so they will go after us again. Because the battleship is a lot of stuff.
We were unable to increase security.
Okay, that failed. Ooh. Nuclear weapons
Mission
test.
complete.
Okay, we can unify. Oh, we can't unify Canada yet, because that's a cooldown, right? Ah, it's expiring in January. Okay, we start with Mexico then. So Canada will be in 2 mission phases from now. So let's see. And we got marginal amount of unrest here. And of course we got... everything got added together. The knowledge went down, therefore. That's okay. The question is, what is our cohesion doing? Rest value is 4.9, so a bit of more welfare investment will be fine to get the cohesion rest value up again. And now the big question, should we unify the Central America or the Caribbeans? Let's do the Caribbeans first, because they are less stable.
Policy direction complete.
They have higher inequality as well, so... There we go. And this will push us up again. But not by a lot though. But we lost a lot of unity from this. Or rather cohesion here. So we are going to push the Now we are going to do the following now. The cohesion rest value with 4.4 is okay. We're going to invest heavily into knowledge and welfare to pull the cohesion back up again and pull the education score up again. Ah, finally the alien has revealed itself that was landing here in the US. Perfect. So we are going to take this one out as well. Perfect. And science-wise, this should help us in the long term because we are now a bigger nation. But we have lost a bit of education score from the unification, so we might not have any kind of change of science output from this unification, but we are of course unifying down the control points now, so we are going into a more stable realm again, where we can consider to pick up another nation. I'm definitely eyeing here on India, so that would be nice. Yeah, and we are going to continue this, so let me just jump forward until we can merge Canada, and then I'm going to also merge CAC. And I'm going to hunt down this alien here. Okay, it's January and this mission phase should solve all the things that I have talked about. We are going to unify Canada as well. Let's hope it doesn't go to ground here.
I'll keep them safe.
That it will fall to us now. Come on, there we go. Yes, it's doing enthrall. Perfect. So this one is dead. We are going to merge Canada as well. Our cohesion is extremely low now, which is a problem. But we are going to fix that within a few mission phases. I'm going to stop mission control investment when the 25 is full here. And then just focus on knowledge for a few weeks to get the cohesion back up. And what? Quantum computing. And also we have to push our... There we go. Public opinion up again to also get the cohesion rest value into the areas where we want it. It was just not necessary currently because of the lower unrest that we had now in the last month or years. Okay, we are going to unify with Brazil. Let's see what this does. This might actually go wrong because we have a lot of unrest here. But let's see if it works out. Looking good. Oh, actually it went down. Interesting. Didn't expect that. So, now we do have most of the South American Union already done. And our armies here could go further to Lima already. I think we are at war already. Yes, we are. So let's do this. Is this the capital? Yes, this is the capital. To Lima. And priority-wise, we are going to not do this further here. Yes, we have to fix the government score so that we can get Argentina in without getting hostile claims here. So that's going to be an issue, but the democracy score is only 7. So we have to get up to 5.5 for this to work out. But I'm not going to do this like it here right now. That will take a bit of time to do this. So I'm going to focus on also mission control and a bit of knowledge here and welfare again. Just to stabilize the nation further, get the cohesion up, because this will also be a problem here. And meanwhile, slowly push the government score up. But it's going to be a lot easier to manage now because it's just one big state. Now let's also do the US.
Direction complete.
Here we go. US done as well. Fragmentation is massive now. But this should be fixable pretty quickly. So let's wait until the mission control is done here. And we go into... No, we don't want that kind of project right now. We can get this one, because we have so many materials project ongoing already. And there we go. The mission control is done. We are not going to spoil here for the moment. Not going to do I'm going to do one unity pick here. Leave one on government as well. We don't need environment for now. We can do 3 on economy, that's fine. And then we just do... How much do we want to invest in? We should get to 2.5 cohesion first. So we are going to all in on knowledge here. So to get the score back up again. We are around 10, so that was roughly expected. So because we were close to 12 on Canada, we were also at 11 point something on the US. And of course, Mexico was around 9 already, so I pushed that up quite a bit. But now I'm going to just push a lot of points into the US here. This will result in 35 points into knowledge per month. And we get 0.0041 cohesion from it. So that times 3, 0.12 times 10. So we get 0.12 cohesion per month from this. So it will go up quickly, relatively quickly, because we also have the monthly tick by 0.1 upwards. We just have to, for example, send Otis now again to do public opinion here to get this one to around 60% at least. This will also help us with the cohesion. And of course, what we can do is use war declarations here from our South American Union to pull in the US, and then this way also pull the cohesion back up again. So that's going to be useful as well. Well, that's for the next episode, where we have to declare multiple wars again here. So we are going after Peru, which we can still do without getting hostile claims here. We can also go after... No, we can't go after Montevideo, but we can Asunción. We can take Peru, and we can take Paraguay. And we do need more democracy score before we can take Argentina and Uruguay here. Uruguay, actually, we have to eat. We have to accept that it will be hostile, so we can already... We can also declare war on Uruguay, because that's not going to be easy to be pacified here. But we should avoid to run into these 3 hostile claims here as well, because we're already going to have cohesion problems here. So we should pull up the government score until we can pacify this one. We should take this over now. And then I have to see if we can maybe somehow make something work so that it is easier to do. But let's see. That's going to be something for the next episode. Oh, the Bahamas are still missing. Yeah, we have a few claims left to do. I think it's also Reno here, which is in the Pacific. Yeah. And then the European colonies in the northern Atlantic, which we also have claims on, which is, for example, the Georgetown here. It's going to be Point Petra, or whatever it's pronounced here. Nassau, Wilhelmstadt, and so on. So there's a lot of stuff we could take. But I'm not going to follow up on these super small claims. Maybe Wilhelmstadt here because of the boost. Oh, it's not in the EU. Tempting. So maybe we go after the Netherlands as well. Just take them over and then cede the claim to the US when it's time. And that would be a solution as well. But now we do have our pretty big US. And what I'm also going to do...
Reporting in.
I think first of all I'm going to go to ground because we have so many visible advisors here. Except for this one. I'm going to use Felicia here for an advice as well. Sarah has to go to ground.
Going silent.
Kirsten has to go to ground.
Hunkering down.
And Ian has to go to ground as well, yes. But afterwards, I'm going to use 2 or 3 or maybe even 4 of my advisors for doing advice missions here just to boost up the monthly investment points through the roof. Because as we can see here, it's not just 35,
Silent.
it's 46
Offering
actually.
counsel.
After one in advice here. And we can do a second advice. We are not going to get 25% bonus from this, but we get 12.5% bonus from this, which is going to result in at least like 5 additional investment points for a while. And I think that's going to be worth it until we can see that everything has stabilized again.
Offering support.
There we go. So now we are up to 51.2.
Hunkering down.
So this is still worth it because, yeah,
Few things
0.0.441.
and focus your output as effectively as a sharp blast of cold.
It's in the end
As a
actually
thank you
0.2
for
cohesion we
being
get per month when we do it this heavy here. Okay, we go into neutronics now because we need it. And we are going to push down inequality and we are going to push up cohesion here. This should be... Oh, that's also important. This should be very, very fast, and our science output should go up significantly from this. It actually dropped quite strongly from the loss of cohesion, because the difference in cohesion is like 25%. I think it's even total of 50%. I think around 5 you get plus 25, and if you are at 0 you get minus 25%. So it's a difference of total 50% science output, which would be really a big amount. So we have to see where we are in like 3 months, how large our science output here is and how much it will change. Yeah. And we're going to take this one, and then I'm going to declare the war on Chile here in the next episode. And this should also get us 0.5, I think, from following up on a call to war. So that's also going to be massive here. Very helpful. And I have to think if I maybe want to go after some other things here which are just cheap to invade, so that we can leech the cohesion from this. Okay, leave a like and subscribe, and see you in the next episode where we are going to finish our 2 super nations here and have a lot of fun with that. And then we are going to set our eyes on the next prize, because we do have now almost 200 points freed up, which could, for example, be all of India here if we want to. But yeah, see you then, and let's have fun.